everyone had a good weekend. Also, so I don't forget, Monday, October 9th is a holiday for the city, for City Hall. And on Tuesday, 2 council members will have prior commitments already. And Wednesday is the Meet the Candidates night. So that puts us all the way to Thursday. So I'd like to move the our next meeting date to October 16th. That's a Monday.
So we'll have 2 Mondays in a row.
Yeah, we'll have 2 Mondays in a row.
The old days.
Thank you.
That Thursday works for me, Tom, on the 12th.
Sure.
Negative.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
It's all good either way.
Yeah. So since Mark just confused everybody, our next meeting will be Monday, October 16th. Okay, on the ordinances, on the one tonight, we need to amend it. We can do it either way, additions, or we'll just wait. I'll need a motion to remove in 2024. Then I'll have a motion, second, I'll call the roll, then we'll give the third. Yeah, it's in section 2. Dave wanted to pull the date. And we'll call the roll, then we'll give the third reading of the amended ordinance. If it's at its third reading, then it should pass. Okay. And while we're on this, I know Max Sherry sent an email today about the resolution about the pickleball courts.
Yep, we got it.
What's this,
Yeah, for next time.
for the next time? Okay, and that's just, we talked about this, didn't we? Before, and is this what we talked about?
This would be on the next round, right?
Yeah,
Because we've already submitted for the 4th
okay,
pickleball court. This would go for the big project.
Do you want me to explain?
Yeah, sure. You
Yeah,
can.
what's the big
I just brought it with me. I guess.
So we already applied for the Nature Works grants to add the 4th courts where the 3 existing courts are
Right.
at the city rec. So we're waiting to hear from that. That was between 20 and 25,000. I can't remember the exact amount.
Yeah.
So we should find out here.
October usually.
Yeah, October 1st of November is when they award those. This is for the other portion of the project to add 6 courts still on our property at City Rec, where the big picnic shelter is, the area there. The pickleball foundation or group itself has raised just right in the neighborhood of $43,000. What we have come across is let me get my paper so I can say the name correctly. It's the Land and Water Conservation Fund. And there are grants that are administered through ODNR. So this is separate dollars from what we already applied for. And it's a 50-50 match. So the project is at $360,000. So we can apply, and then, for our half or the committee's half or the city, I guess it would be the city, would be the $180,000. To date, like I said, the committee has the $43,000. We have in-kind engineering at $27,000 that has already been done and performed. Omega has the invoicing on all of that. That was done by Eric Exley. I don't know if anybody knows him. He is obviously a certified engineer. We are looking at applying for additional grant dollars. If the city, if this comes to, if the grant was awarded, we always appropriate every year in Parks Capital Improvement about $50,000. If we choose to use part of that towards that, it gets us pretty darn close to if we can, obtain this grant and receive the $180,000. But we need to do the first step just to have the resolution authorizing, Max or Mark to sign to apply for the grants probably at the next meeting, Aaron with Omega suggested that, we have some people from the public, which will be, pickleball people, probably some of the committee members come and, speak more on it. But I was kind of appointed as the city representative for the court committee by Mark and Max, so I've been
For her love
attending.
of Pickleball.
For my level of life, no, not really. But just because if it deals with any finances and, like we said, the last tournament had 180 plus people that came. And mass majority were all from out of town and out of state. So it's actually, we all know it's growing and it's bringing people here. So that would get us 10 courts, outdoor courts on our grounds. And, city rec, we can have tournaments, but, kind of run that in conjunction with how our recreation is going with Kids American now. So if Mark wants to say anything more on that, he can do that. But that's where we're looking at now, and have some pretty good leads on additional grant dollars that would help lessen, the cost overall.
You guys are just gonna do pickleball indoors during the winter?
Yeah, because the inside kids, there are 10 courts. So it makes it nice too, if there is a tournament in the summer, and if the weather turns bad, we could simply make sure that, the date is course, that you could just move it inside. And have the tournament there, and then plus we already have our 3 courts up at Hall Park too. So, and those were all in full use this morning.
I saw them.
Yeah.
I'd rather be playing pickleball. That's what I thought.
So,
So,
I have a draft of the ordinance or resolution. Yeah, I can get to Amy because
Okay.
it's gonna have to, they have my name and we don't sign resolutions and Max, so it'll just have to get put into our,
Is it different from the one that I printed off you give me?
no, it's the same one.
Same one.
And I can forward it to Amy in the email, unless I already did and I just don't remember. That way you'll have it as a Word document. Okay. You don't have to type it from scratch.
all right, any questions?
So the city schools are in discussion on possibly doing something with the tennis courts because they're a mess. They're doing some soil studies now. If they do that, they're, I think they're going to include a couple pickleball courts. So that would help also. And the basketball court and two tennis courts. So
Nice.
They are a mess, that's all. Just used to be really nice.
It's a shame.
Okay. Any other ordinances for next time?
We will have, you should have at least one grant ordinance for an OPWC application. It'll be a 0% interest loan for the electrical upgrade, the wastewater plant. We're gonna apply for that.
What is that for, Dave?
OPWC, Public Works, for infrastructure. We're asking for $250,000 of loan money towards the electrical upgrade on that project. And we got the $500,000 grant. It's about a 720, 730 project, so we're asking for some loan money. It's service center over 30 years, so that would be good use of our dollars if we can get that.
I will probably have, just going through line items. So I'm gonna have some transfers, just kind of cleaning some stuff up as I do, gearing towards the end of the year. So I started working on those today. So I'll email you my list of them, but I will have that for you next time.
Max, you don't have anything?
I'll tell more of tonight, Tom.
Mayor?
Nope, I don't believe so.
Okay. Okay. Received an email from Councilwoman Turner, and she would like to enter into some discussion about the need for 2 new sheriff's cruisers.
Yeah, I met with Sherry, because our sheriff's department requested 2 new sheriff's cruisers just to talk about whether or not funds were available and whether or not we could honor their request. So Sherry, I'll leave it to you to maybe say where those money would be coming from if you do say yes. Or...
Excuse me. Are you here to answer some questions for us if we have
Sure,
questions?
absolutely.
Okay,
Great.
So,
I just went down through our safety, security, law enforcement fund. And that's where I feel that the two can come out of the amount. I failed to bring my paper up. It was 116,000 and maybe 116, 104, or some odd amount of that. But I feel comfortable that, the past couple of years, that has, as our income tax has come in a little bit more with some large, estimated payments, that has helped boost that fund a little bit. So I feel like we can comfortably go ahead and use out of that 112 safety security, because, that's what the citizens voted for that for, not only our contract, but, whatever services that we have. I looked back the last time that we purchased a vehicle outside of the contract was 2017. So because, in 18, it started then that it was written in the contract that it was expected to buy with our dollar amount they were expected to buy.
It was left more of if we could help, we
Yeah.
would. It's not specified. It was every other year, I believe.
We used to buy separately and
And
pay
now
for it out of the general
last
fund or
contract
capital
was not.
improvement. Mostly we, use capital improvement fund. But just where we're sitting at now, I feel that, we can honor that request.
I did also have an opportunity to speak with Sheriff Crawford. And he was telling me that I believe one of the cruisers is just being used for parts at the moment. I did ask if there was, I didn't know, but if there was any chance you could trade it in and get some money back, and sadly, no. You guys probably knew that, but no. Right. But he was also saying that with the strike and everything coming up, if we can get two now, we'll save us money later and we'll be able to get it sooner.
Right now, if we move.
The last I spoke with Statewide, they did.
That's another issue is actually getting them,
They
and
said
it's
6 to 8 weeks.
right, which is better than 6 to 8 years of everything,
Well, the
how
last
it's
time,
been,
though, it's
right?
been 11 months.
And I think you're at the point where you have the bodies to put in the cruisers, and if you don't get cruisers,
Correct.
you're not gonna be able to they're not going to have the proper equipment to do their jobs with, right?
So if council approves, I will have to have additional appropriations, and what I'd like to do is just establish a line item within the safety security for specific for cruisers. So it would be the amount that was on the documentation that was given to us. If you so wish.
have any questions?
Well, yeah, I mean, used to be we replaced one or two every other year, so I don't see how we can get around not doing it, because, and the Tahoes unfortunately haven't been the world's greatest cars, so we're going back to Ford Explorers, correct? So,
Yes, I'm Mr. Moore, you got that look on your face.
I'm just hoping we have bodies to put in new cruisers if we buy them. And when I look at the shift chart from this one, there seemed to be a couple of shifts where it was open. I'm assuming they didn't have anyone to cover those then.
We're, I can speak for the office, for the sheriff's office on that. They have 2 new city deputies, correct?
We've got 2, we've got one that's getting ready to come from the jail out to go through the FTO process.
And you're putting them in the city, right?
Now that's getting ready to graduate the academy.
Right, so we're moving forward on staffing and definitely a lot better off than we were 6 months ago, a year ago, so.
But even with that, besides the fact of having somebody to put in a new car, it's about, to me, it's even more so about replacing old vehicles and getting newer, better vehicles that aren't loaded with miles and,
Safety comes in issue.
Yeah, I've been
and maybe
in,
JD can address,
I've
if the last time we bought a
personally-
vehicle was in 17.
I've been in a cruiser at 90. Well, I'm not gonna say 90 because I think above 80 is where we get into trouble. So, had a shots fired call, so it was a serious call, and I would want something better to drive.
I'm not
to
saying
get
we don't
from-
need them. I just want to make
Right.
sure we have deputies to put in them.
Yes, yes.
I'm not opposed to buying them at all. I just want to make sure we can occupy them.
So we need this for the next meeting.
Yes, I'd like to have the appropriations for the next meeting and, if you can pass the ordinance that meeting, so we can, write a check right away, just due to, just like you said, the strike and, the sooner we can get those secured, the better. So rather than, letting it take 3 readings, because, the cash is there that we.
Is
can come
Is
to.
it something that you can get, JD? Like, I would, I don't wanna speak for council, but
I'm just
I mean,
saying,
if
if
you're,
we okay it,
if
and she's
you're,
ready to write the check, can you get them?
I believe so at this point.
I would
Can you
like,
double check
right,
Yes, I will.
and you can either email me or
I would
the mayor or
probably,
somebody, let us know.
if you all are in agreement, I would probably, and serious, like
the
you're gonna
ordinance.
pass it, I would probably like lock them
Put my
down
name in.
now. Right,
I mean, if you'd like me to go type it up
Right.
tonight,
Yeah.
I can get them locked down.
Can't pass it.
I would,
Can't
because,
pass
yeah,
it tonight. We don't have enough members here.
Here we do.
We have five. Pass emergency.
Oh,
Not to pass emergency.
that's right. So we'll just pass it next time, just lock them in, I guess. We're all in agreement that we need them, right? Council, you guys, everybody's in agreement? Okay,
Yeah,
so just make sure we can get them.
I'll know tomorrow.
Okay,
it's the most excited I've seen you in 4 years, so,
Well, we just had a pretty good rain.
right,
Just came from that.
so
It's been a good.
from one exciting thing to the next.
so housing and property maintenance, I know that the properties that the Roscoe villagers come in and discuss, I know those are in the proceedings.
They have till, I believe, October 12th, clean them up, avoid their fines.
Webinar on Wednesday, so I'll know.
As I stated, I have a lawsuit that I will get ready to file, and as well as additional charges after that date. In the meantime, last week I did hear from their lawyer, which is the first time that somebody has reached out to me and asked for details as to what they needed to do, which I thought that was fairly self-evident, but I offered to meet them at the places and go through along with Mark and detail what needed to be done. The lawyer didn't seem too interested in that, so I sent emails with all the different deficiencies as well as pictures of each site. So we'll see if they get cleaned up or not. At this point, I don't know why they would go to the lawyer for that purpose unless they were planning on cleaning them up. Let's hope they do so that we don't have to do it with their own funds.
Max, where are we at with the safe route to school?
Outside, just talking to Ben Boyer. Nowhere right now. So.
What about the
I had a
sidewalks in
meeting with them
Ross?
last week. Sidewalks in Roscoe will be meeting with Mr. Bowers tomorrow as a final walkthrough before they get started. So,
Are they gonna replace the railroad ties? And there's some up by Hucks, in front of Hucks that are rotted too. But wouldn't that be the property, that would be the property owners, like
yeah,
the business
that's
people's
not in the
responsibility.
contract for the brick
Right,
company.
just brick, right?
I mean, we've got some ties left from where we done the curbs up there behind.
But I'm just saying, if you put brand new brick
Right.
around rotted railroad ties, you're gonna have the same problem.
There's a bunch flying out there.
Yeah.
My concern with, and I've had this discussion with Mr. Bowers, is one of the stipulations was I don't want anything messed up during apple butter. So if you're gonna come in here and start working, just do what you can do up till whatever date, mid-October, stop and come back and finish.
Hey, they can be here it's a public meeting, yes. Yes.
Okay.
We're meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning with
Okay.
Mr. Bowers. Want me to just go ahead or?
Yeah, keep going.
So paving commenced. As you probably know, we got the base coat on Chestnut today completed. Yeah, that road's was built up on top of bricks, so we're actually having to put about 10 inches of asphalt down. So we put 6 on today, a base. They come in tomorrow with 2 inch of what we call an intermediate coat, which is just smaller. Everything's just smaller rock. And then hopefully tomorrow they'll have the top coat on as well. So Chestnut Street, hopefully by the end of the week for sure, we'll be able to back up. Get it all paved. We'll see. The gas line right there, we repaired several gas lines to houses up there. And there's several yards that's messed up. So usually the gas company is pretty good about coming back and fixing that. So we'll get it all paved, see what we got and go from there. We've not, you might want to talk about the meeting with EPA on the funding and.
Yeah, I mean, and I
good
talked to
stuff.
Sherry as well this morning. We're still kind of up in the air waiting on, there's Senate bills, there's EPA, there's multiple funding sources. And it just depends on when we get the phone call and how much money we get. So SPP is working with the state government to secure funding. And right now it's, best possible case scenario would be probably next spring and work would start next summer. One thing I've learned is government runs slow. So yeah.
Now, just to be clear, that's been engineered up there to replace that, right?
Yes,
So
and you guys
it's project
passed,
ready.
yes, you guys passed the resolution for the ordinance
They
for
were
us to.
Progress is not done.
Yes,
close.
it's in,
close.
they said 60 days for engineering. And what people have to realize, and you all have to realize, is there's still a 120-year-old 12-inch water main with lots of pressure. So at any moment, and I hope I don't jinx myself, but at any moment that water line could break again. So, we're hoping, we're praying that we put the asphalt down and we get the funding, the majority of the funding from state partners and move forward. So I'm just hoping that, curbs, driveways, we're going to do the best we can to replace. There's one driveway, a gentleman emailed me today that lives there where his driveway had been ruined by the second break. That will be fixed. Curbs are part of that overall project. So if we get into where water is eating out people's yards, we're going to have to figure something out, at least temporary, to fix the issue. The alley behind on the north side, the alley needs repairs done from people making it a cut across. I believe next year hay is on the paving list. So if you get complaints about hay, they've thrown a lot of asphalt to patch the holes on hay. Next year, I believe that's on the paving list. So that will be fixed and we will work on the alley, see what we can get done there. So that right now is not the permanent fix. So we're going to do our best to get it back open. For trucks, the biggest complaint I've heard is with semi trucks getting in and out of town. I didn't want to fix it immediately, and how do I declare it an emergency? As far as I'm concerned, we did the best with what we had, and we'll continue to pursue funding.
So on the infrastructure with the water lines, so is SPP planning like other projects for us?
So-
Because I know
right.
we keep talking about how many miles of
Right.
bad infrastructure we have. So are they going to continue strategic planning for different areas of town?
Yeah, and with that, we will have to fund engineering to be shovel ready, and whatever we think next, where to go to next is what we need to do. When we were on a meeting with a lot of high-ranking EPA officials, and basically I said, we're not unique with what we need, with what every other city in Ohio needs, what every other city in the country needs. I basically said, we need your help. You know, we most definitely, this is not the only line in town. They're all pretty much in the same condition.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just a matter of getting engineering done on whatever's next, and I can throw a dart in hidden area, and that needs it too, so.
Okay. Anything else, Max?
Dave's got Albert's doing a lot of water hole repairs. Probably got what, 3 or 4 left? The ones that are plated right now. We talked about engineering on Chestnuts. One thing we're fighting a little bit is we've had due to retirements, and gentleman left the water plant, is getting employees to staff our plants right now. So if y'all know of people that are interested in a good job, we're not having a lot of luck, with the normal routes. Used to be people lined up for those jobs. And I guess it's just a different time right now, but
Competing with the private sector when wages are $25 to $30
it used
an
to be
hour.
very comparable, but we just can't afford those type of wages that, the AKs and the Queens are paying now. We're more along that, craft and MFM.
So we had one retirement, I know that.
Yeah, retirement.
We just
at the
had,
sewer
the
plant.
other ones just leave for their
Leave,
jobs
yep.
or.
Yeah, the one gentleman lives in Licking County, and he actually got a similar job with Licking County Water, and you can't blame him. I mean, he spent an hour each way driving, and we would hire him back in a heartbeat. So he's a good employee, but I get why he went. I believe it was a little more money, wasn't it?
About $5 an hour.
So
It's more than a little.
Right.
Significant.
Right.
And then after a year, it could go to 13 more an hour.
but
It's Licking County is gonna get harder and harder to compete with. I mean,
Yeah.
we're sheriff's office, the city, it's going to be difficult. Our benefits are where it's at, but to a young person, health insurance is not that important. So, that's where we stay relatable, I feel, but it's the struggle is real. Public service it's hard to compete when you sell a product and you can raise the price and pay people more. It's any public service job.
So Dave, are we that far behind on water leaks and stuff that we have to hire Alberts? I thought you'd said at one meeting that we had plenty of people to staff our
That was
water
early, all
leaks.
this we're gonna break, and since then, we've lost 4 heads out of distribution. One has transferred another job in the city, one's transferred out to other employment. Staffing in the utility department's down about 30%.
Wait, so people are leaving your office?
Well, utility department's whole, distribution, water plant, wastewater plant. I've got an opening at wastewater that we've had. And as Max said, the pays one, and also these openings, unfortunately, are off shift. When you tell some of the younger generations, you're gonna work 11 to 7 for 5 years.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
That's,
I was just wondering that, because you said that Alberts was fixing a
But yeah, the
lot.
last 6, 8 weeks, it's been a rapid change in our department.
Doesn't that, obviously Alberts cost more, so that kind of hurts your budget too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
we've used, when we get behind on water hole, we've used contractors in the past for
Yeah.
water hole repair.
Yeah, I remember you guys saying that.
Yes. We don't like to, but I get tired. Figure people's like me, I hate to drive over a steel plate too, so.
I just know with the school business, which, again, that we compete with districts as far as what they pay. And I think if you provide I don't want to use the word pleasant, but I will, a good working environment, you can compete with areas. I just want to make sure we're doing that overall, not just in Dave's department, but in the city in general. People have to like to work here, and I know I can understand the Licking County person, especially with the detour every day.
right.
But we need to do what we can do to keep our employees in-house and, and I know we can only pay so much, but there's got to be other ways that you can create a positive work environment. I've been through it.
Anything else, Max?
That's all I got tonight.
Max, crosswalks at the end of White Woman by the visitor center needs paint, please.
I have one question, Max. I got an email, North 10th Street, 433 North 10th, which would be up by the Red Sea area. Water leak up there. It's been pretty bad. It's been 3 weeks or so. And
When's
Yes,
that-
I
when's
talked to
that
him,
scheduled?
right up by the Red Sea.
Yeah, we talked to him.
How about where we made the storm drain repairs?
Yes,
Somewhere.
Yeah.
but we've been
Is that-
trying to concentrate on the leaks.
Is that a
on the
service,
paper.
is that a service line or is that?
Yes, it's a
main
service
line?
line. You know, like trying to get, when we fixed one, of course, we created one. What we're finding is, as we try to isolate some of these leaks, we turn 5 valves, 4 of them work good, the 5th one will leak, so it's just never ending. So we've got the one fixed down by Ed one during that process. We now have one leaking up by the hospital, which impacts the paving, and we just put another one on Nicolier and Highland. Paver run over, broke that one, so there's another leak there we gotta fix on the new street.
Just one comment. I don't know who fields the phone calls that come in on water leaks and that type of thing, but to possibly get a little better answer than what's not it's not a priority. I mean, it should be a little bit.
I don't think anyone would tell anyone that
Well,
called my
that,
office.
according to the email here, we can go talk to the guys. What's what he was told.
So-
Sorry, that's not on our priority list.
He called the mayor's office and they said that's not on our priority.
I have no idea who called.
Because
He didn't say.
no one would say that out of my office.
Oh, so the guy's not telling me the truth.
I can promise you, no one would call my office and we would tell them
Okay.
that's not on our priority list.
I'm just telling you what he told me.
Mark, is the mayor's office where people should call?
They can call here, they can call the utility. The easiest way to get in touch with anyone in the city of Coshocton is call 622-1465, and it has pretty much every city department that you need to talk to on the prompts.
Okay,
If you call the water office, it has the same prompts as City Hall does. If you call the street, I believe it has the same prompts, so
so,
there's not a communication issue at all.
Yeah, the email was
maybe-
specific about who you called.
I wanna
who you
know,
talked to.
because if it's my office, I'll address it, but I don't think that
that's what I was
anyone.
just gonna say, going
would
back to what
say.
Roger was talking about, culture.
Right,
So maybe it would be worth investigating and finding out and,
The proper way
Having
is
everybody
they
get on
call
the
and
same
if they talk
page.
to me, I get their name, their address. And say, and I forward it on to the utilities department to go check, check it out, or hit Mark and I go up and check it out, so.
Max.
I make a phone call right to the source.
now it's.
Mayor, your turn.
Okay,
Mike,
Well,
you
I
have
want-
anything else?
I wanna know who told them it wasn't a priority.
Okay, well,
That's
the email.
what I wanna know.
So, you know,
Okay.
all I got is the name is Jimmy, and it's up on North.
I know who this
You know who it
is.
is.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't talk to him about that, but I know
Okay.
exactly who lives at 433, so I'm good.
Mr. President, I got one more thing.
You stalling for him?
No.
Please let me read this email.
I figure once I shut up, I'm done. So.
Right.
I had a meeting here today with Jim, he's on the infrastructure committee, and we had Ronnie on the phone, right, Ronnie Quartz. We just started discussing this stormwater utility, waiting on engineering associates to get back, give Jim some information that I had put together already on doing a survey on non-pervious areas around town, so that's kind of our next step, is to kind of let them work and get, how many industrial sites we have and everything for stormwater management. I don't know if Jim wants to say anything else, but I know he earned some stuff in, I'm sure.
I think what's dropping off of our water bills and stuff, like the money's there. A lot of money there. Just, we have to determine how much we want to put on there.
Well, I think the committee, right? Shouldn't the committee, Kaylee and Tom and Mike, you guys should probably get together and get your information that you guys had and present it to us.
Apologize. I didn't know you was on infrastructure. I looked at the sheet problem apparently.
Who's on infrastructure? Chris
Jim.
and,
Kaylee, Tom Barcroft and Mike Gross.
okay.
Also,
And-
okay, so Jim is.
Jim-
Yeah, he's on there. Yeah,
Okay.
he's the
Jim-
chair.
I thought, man, I
Jim's the
looked at the
chair.
sheet wrong. I
Yeah.
keep it on my desk and I
Yeah.
glance over at it.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys want to get together, because wasn't you, Dave, wasn't you supposed to meet with them as well? About this, the stormwater and some stuff?
Stormwater street.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's public
Okay.
works.
gotcha.
I'll make it quick, because I know you want me to make it quick. Want to tell everyone, we have, been awarded by the USDA and US Forest Service a $1 million grant for urban and community forestry program. We will know more details. There's a webinar this Wednesday that we will be on. This was written and started in my office and went to Coshocton and Bloom members who completed the project and got us to the finish line. So I want to thank them. Resolution for pickleball, Max talked about. Roscoe sidewalk, Max is meeting. I think Max stole all my fun.
I'm sorry.
Fair, want to remind residents, fair traffic pattern change on Kenilworth. Had a productive meeting last week with the fair board on safety, security, traffic flows, everything like that. And just wanted to bring up the planning and zoning commission's recommendation that's been removed by the applicant. So the hearing that we were going to have is not going to be held. So whatever council wants to do with that situation.
We're not gonna act on it.
Right, and it's completely out of my hands at this moment, so. That's all I have. If you have questions, I will answer them.
Anybody else have anything, the mayor? Last chance, Max, you have anything else?
I don't, I didn't mean to steal his thunder either.
Hey, thank you.
What is the paving schedule as far as completion date for everything? Do we know? I know it depends on weather pattern.
It's weather. I'm hoping they're out of here mid next week. To be done.
Yeah, it'll be.
They've been making, this is perfect weather though. I mean, they
It's
was bragging
been,
on it
yeah, I
today.
think they have Marion, Parsons, Woodland, Tuscarawas, that area, which they'll bust out pretty quick since it's all there. Fifth and Sycamore, they still need to get that. They're moving pretty good.
Like Elm was
I
done.
think the weather's gonna be pretty decent.
What about the alley by Sacred Heart? You said we were gonna grind that down.
Alley, they're finishing up. Public Works is finishing up. All the drainage for the paving, and they should be working on alleys, momentarily.
What are they doing on Sleepy Hollow,
Where at?
right off of Cambridge Road?
That's a water leak that was another water leak. They'll scrape it and put.
No, this is
No,
going down through the yards. They got green stakes in all the yards, and blue flags down one side.
Yeah, they got the streets all marked. There's, I think, blue and green flags all the way down and stakes in people's yards.
Both sides of the road.
They got a storm drain uncovered. What, you getting
It
ready to
could
jump
be a
on there?
gas locate because,
That's
blue
what I'm
flags
thinking.
identify
It's-
water lines,
Right, I think
green
it's
is
gas.
sanitary,
It's green and orange. The
orange
stake
is,
is green and orange.
orange is communication, but that's an oops locate, could be from the gas company, when you see us putting paint down, that's a request from
Wherever we
somebody doing
pave,
some
they
digging.
tear up. It's
Yeah.
probably
We don't know what the
gas.
work is.
It's
Because there's a lot of
probably
that
gas,
out in my
'cause
area
that's
too.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going around basically replacing everything in town, so.
I think the truck had infrastructure on the door today.
Yeah,
I saw there.
Yeah, it has to be gas.
Okay. Well, we got about 6 minutes. See you guys in council.
Never seen anything, but